I accidentally hit start. Let's just start.
I guess.
Oh, why is this on? I keep forgetting about that. All right, let's go.
Bloopers.
There's no bloopers. This is just a mess.
Not
this
necessarily.
Is a lack of editing skills, but all right.
Do you think that if I talked to Pokemon, she would
Okay, just finish. Start it up. Nothing.
Okay, so there's a lot of news, actually. So, there's rumors, roster confirmations. We have teams getting filled out, superstar teams being born, and then we have what I think you could do to not go over poaching in League. But
are we actually going to do that?
Me and
I don't really think we need to get advice. If you don't want to poach, don't say, hey, can you join my team when they're still in contract?
That's true.
And that's literally it. All you have to do. All right, so what's the first rumor you want to go over?
What if I invite you to dinner?
Okay, so we're going to go... Actually, Norskeren was just picked up by Spylce, which rounds out that roster to a Norskeren. It's going to be Xerxes in the jungle, Kabe in the mid... ADC. Mid lane is going to be... Humanoid, and then Vizicachi in the top lane, which rounds this out to a solid playoff contention team, to be honest. Especially, and it can challenge the top, like the top half of the region. I think if they actually manage to have Humanoid pull off what I think he's like, if he manages to be a decent player, then I feel like this team could at least challenge the top 4. But it's all dependent on the new player, and it's all dependent on obviously things we're not able to identify before, which is meshing and all that stuff we can't know.
Yeah, they were primarily a late game focused team.
But I think with the team they have now, that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, I think Kabi gets the bad end of the stick about being on just a team, the one shining light of a bad team.
Oh, he's gonna look so nice. I feel like this is gonna be his breakout year. I don't know if he's gonna be.
I think it's the year of the Italian Stallion.
Who is that?
That's Jizuki.
Why would I think? Is that really his nickname?
He's called the Italian Stallion. Do you not breed in the narratives and memes?
I don't know.
Of 2018?
Whatever. So, honestly, for the most, what do you think they're gonna end up like?
Let's see. Last year they really struggled to be anything valuable in early game. They struggled to do anything valuable with just anything in general. They definitely beat teams worse than them, but that's not really saying much. They kind of squeaked into playoffs in summer. Spring they looked okay because the meta wasn't necessarily defined yet. You have Vizicachi. I mean, you have Otawamne and Vizicachi. You know, Vizicachi comes in and Otawamne leaves, and that's not really. You're not really getting a difference.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like they're really equal in terms of just skill and what they provide for a team.
If I was Vizicachi and if I wanted something long term, I would have personally just stayed with Schalke. I know he said it was really hard leaving them. I don't even know why you would leave them.
Really don't understand. Honest, that team looks so solid. Yeah. It just makes no sense why he'd leave them.
If he didn't leave, he would have a much better team than he had last year too.
He would have a much... Regardless, I think both of the situations, I think he's in a good situation in comparison.
I would have felt really bad if Norskeren didn't have a team.
That would make no sense, because he was literally one of the top supports in the league.
He was playmaking his... Some might argue that Norskeren made HQ look better.
I don't know. I don't know how much better he made him look, because he still looked pretty terrible.
Gosh. I feel like the cohesiveness of Norskeren and Kabi, who want to dominate early game, will definitely show. And I think if you roll in a new mid laner, isn't he Danish?
I don't know anything about.
I haven't really seen a bad EU mid laner.
Yeah, honestly, you can't even deny it. Like if you think about most of the recent mid laners that have came into the scene,
yeah,
like
aside from pretty much past the year of like 2015. You've had a pretty decent, solid round of EU mids, even before that.
Yeah, we had all of the superstars from the past, like Froggen, Xpeke, Bjergsen. Who?
Shushe.
Okay. Why are we bringing him up?
He's a superstar for pioneering the game, right?
Okay, so we had those 3. I think for the most part...
at one point, so... Yeah, I think EU's problem is not mid laners. Their problem is, like... picking the one that's going to give you the most value, because
it's more so keeping their talent getting snatched away by us.
Yeah, because we breed all the other things like money and talent. We just need your EU talent.
Money and talent?
Money and Donald Trump being president.
Okay, whatever. That's a hot topic I don't want to touch. But for the most part, I think that This is gonna be a top tier team. Not top tier. I want to say above middle pack, but like lower than B top.
Their ceiling could arguably be 4th.
I think their ceiling is probably 4th to 3rd. Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, I think Origin. So the problem is, it's going to depend on whose style is more effective in terms of who wants to play the game.
I don't deny that. It's going to depend on the meta, depend on the cohesiveness of how the teams gel together. But for the most part, I don't see this team being out of the playoffs just based off of names.
Yeah, I think the coaching staff has to implement another new strategy that wasn't really better than last year's, because last year's you already knew how to beat them. It was already a solved book, and I think that it should not be that way. You shouldn't be expecting to beat a team one way, and it should always cohesively happen.
Let's say cohesively about 3 more times before we end this video, okay?
Okay.
So the next piece of news is gonna be Dardoch to Optic Gaming.
Maybe.
I guess essentially it's the same thing, because apparently
this is the big one, because
like it just doesn't make sense to me. They have the second from last season. I think the second best jungler in the league was Dardoch. I mean, not Dardoch, Meteos. But the first best was Dardoch. So now you have the top 2 junglers.
But then then you could also couple that with Meteos is the best in terms of success and shot calling.
I just don't want to do that, because I feel like Dardoch last split was just the best at every aspect. I really don't want to give Meteos any edge. I think in almost every situation, Dardoch's a better jungler. But Meteos is also an amazing jungler. He played really well last split. So, like, when I first saw the Meteos pick up,
he got a brand new org to second place in their first split. It's insane.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, when I saw Meteos, like, kind of get picked up, I was like, that's a good move. When I saw Dardoch get picked up, I'm like, okay, now you have 2 good players, but they both play the same position. So now you feel you have 2 solid players in the jungle. And they're essentially surrounded by.
I don't even know how they even works. Why not just let Dardoch go to another team?
Yeah, they're surrounded by mediocre players. Honestly, we got big.
I think Crown. Oh, we're gonna do a mid lane power ranking. I'm not gonna spoil where I'm gonna put Crown, but Crown, I think won't really need jungle help.
I would beg to, like, honestly, I don't know about that.
Maybe not here.
But still, like, he struggled in terms of against most of the mid laners in this region at one point. Like, I feel like if Crown gets on form, I'd love to see that, but it's been a while, a bit. It hasn't been a long time, honestly, but it's been a substantial amount.
You got Dolkla, big. Arrow is rumored to sign again. I think this team, it would
Dolkla, big. Oh my god.
Meteos.
Please don't get Arrow. Like, that's just a mess, man. Like, Arrow's good, but he doesn't deserve this team, man. Arrow does not deserve to lane with big. There's no reason for this to be a thing.
I'll be generous if I put them at anything above 9th if I'm doing power rankings.
I really don't know about this team, man. I just want to see their ADC.
What if they just come off the gate and they're like 6-0 when they first start?
You mean they become CLG, 6-0, and then 6 and like 14?
As Balfrost said, no one beats them for the 11th time in a row.
I'm so proud of him. But I'm going to be honest, I don't see this team.
Power ranking spoiler, I'm going to put them between 10th through 8th.
That's a very... Between 10th through 8th. That's a very small amount of numbers to pick.
I mean, you can't be anything worse than Echo Fox with solo, right?
Echo Fox looks way stronger than them, let's be honest. But for the most part, I think that this is going to be a bottom tier team. I can't imagine them pulling anything on.
I don't want to see Meteos on a bottom tier team.
I don't want to see Dardoch on a bottom tier team. I don't want to see Arrow. They're getting pieces.
I definitely don't want to see Crown, who I rooted for a couple of years, going, hey, you know what's going to depress you even more? Playing League with this team. Well, that's going to... Your depression is going to help with that.
But I don't know what's going to go on. I don't know what the thing that confuses me is their thought process behind this, because they're just feeling...
Let's get a shot calling jungler who's successful, who can lead a team, then let's get someone else.
Who's a good jungler. And then you literally... They just filled in... They essentially just filled in this team with, like, pieces that don't make sense. And then they got two strong jungler. Like, your strongest 2 players are in the same position. That's just like, this doesn't make sense because they can't play at the same time.
Not only can they not play at the same time, there's one shining bright to this. Playoffs. But
they're not making playoffs.
Yeah,
But all around, I think this is a mistake on their part. They should have filled in the other gaps. But
are you gonna put them anywhere above 7th in their power rankings?
I don't know. I will see later on.
There you go. I'm putting them 10th through 8th.
All right, we have actually another big piece of news, which is gonna be what's up?
This just came out right now about G2. We've agreed to release Yarnin from his contract, allowing him to move to free agency.
Well, can you imagine that? I mean, obviously that's gonna happen. Yarnin was not gonna stay with a team that essentially replaced him. Like, there's no reason for him to stay. Wadid's already gone, and Yarnin's. There's no way he's staying. I mean, you can't really.
I mean, they already released thank you videos of these two, so
maybe he's gonna go. He's probably just gonna go play mid lane for Fnatic.
Maybe he's gonna play ADC for Optic Gaming.
Don't say that, man.
That would be even worse, wouldn't it?
I think he's okay. I just don't think he's worth an import slot.
I don't think he gets to lane with Big either.
Man, I would not like to see that lane in action. But yeah, that's obviously not a surprise to anybody. It was bound to happen.
Yeah, I mean, they already released their thank you video for them anyway, so it's kind of that's already news in general.
All right, and then
the other smaller rumor would be Flame to CLG.
Is it confirmed?
Not yet. Flame is in talks with CLG, actually.
Flame to CLG would 100% make this a top tier team in NA. I think Flame, Wiggly. I mean, we still haven't seen enough of him playing.
I think I've seen enough to say that he'll do fine on the stage.
He's played 3 games. You can't see.
No, he's played a lot with C9 Academy. He's played games on stage.
And
he carried CLG Academy to the finals.
I don't base anything off the Academy League because I don't feel like there's the only team capable, and not even capable. They're not even up to standards in terms of anything in the LCS. Is the C9 roster. I don't think I can't really base anything off that because I don't really believe in any of these rosters. So I want to see a Wiggly in action first before I say, oh yeah, this kid's good.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen enough of him to say he'll be fine, but
we've only seen 3 games, dude.
I've seen a lot from gameplay from this guy.
Well, why will you watch it? I'm telling you, man, the Academy League is kind of deceptive in how good a person is.
Could be.
Shrimp looked like the single greatest player to ever come out of Academy before this happened. He was shot calling. He was making I remember watching him eat. He was between the turrets, just shot calling his team on the other side of the map while he kind of distracted them at the bot side. Like, Shrimp looked amazing in the Academy League. I remember, but he's not. It's not translated to the stage.
But I don't know. To be fair, they didn't choose to bring him back for after they won Academy that year too.
What I'm saying is, I don't want to give anybody credit in the lower tier leagues. I want to see them in action in the big. And he's played 3 games and he looked amazing. But that's it. We haven't seen anything. Maybe he's
the newest playstyle that they fit.
Possibly.
Cop is the assistant coach now for FlyQuest.
I mean, I would prefer to see St. Vicious / Cop. I think that duo works better.
St. Vicious
every time they
confirm he's coming back too.
Yeah, but to a different team.
No, St. Vicious re-signs with FlyQuest for 2019.
Oh wait, they're on the same team again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this duo as a squad. I like Cop. Like, their drafts are actually pretty deceptively good because the results you see just don't kind of show. But I think they as a team, they as 2 people, their drafts are decent. I think their teams more so have a general direction of which way to go. Their players are just never good. I think they need better players if they want to compete.
I think that the ideas they come up with in draft are fine.
Yeah.
Exile is now going to go to Excel Esports.
What does that team look like?
Cadro Exile.
Oh my god, man. Okay, well they have the most
of a team.
They have Kasing. Kasing is a good player. And then they have Exile, who's not consistent in the slightest, so I don't know what to say.
That's gonna be hard to say. Exile.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say both in the same sentence.
Oh, you will.
Okay.
And then that's pretty much it for the rumors. Other than that, Dardoch potentially ADC, but we're not talking about
there's one more rumor, but that goes along with the rest. Do you want to talk about that in a different video, or you want in this?
What was that?
The Chinese one.
Oh, I guess what so this is gonna kind of couple in with this one. So, LMS's best players are not going to be on Suning Gaming. They were rumored to be on a bunch of other teams, but now they've confirmed they're going to be on Suning Gaming. So
okay. There's one more, and a rumor to go along with that is that SMLZ is going along.
So he was actually Warriors will be blowing up their entire roster.
Yeah. So essentially, Suning Gaming is this is just a rumor by the way, but the other 2 are confirmed, and they were in the same exact rumor in a Weibo post. I think it's called Weibo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was in the same exact Weibo post that confirmed that Sword Art and Maple were coming over to Suning. So essentially, it's not confirmed, but it's really likely that it's going to happen.
That would be 3/5 of a super team, because the other 2 players. Did
I even say the player yet? I don't think I said the player yet.
SMLZ.
Yeah, SMLZ is the one that was rumored to come along with them.
The pretty much maybe the single greatest Chinese ADC that never actually went to Worlds.
I don't know about that. There's a lot of ADCs like that. There's a lot.
Name didn't go back to Worlds. That's sad.
Name didn't go to Worlds as a good player.
That's true.
But for the most part, I think that I can't imagine a world where I think that this team doesn't at least get in the top 4, because they have now in the bot lane they have Sword Art and SMLZ, which is gonna be one of the it's hard to say because China's just ridiculously stacked in the bot half. I can't say anything because I don't know. I'd like to imagine they'd be in the top 5.
So before I go talking about Maple and Sword Art, their other players were Hacker, and their top laner
Xiao Ao.
They weren't bad necessarily.
Okay,
maybe with better players around them, they'll look better.
Let's give a rundown. These 2 players are mechanically gifted. They're really strong, and I feel like they were stupid. They were just making mistakes that shouldn't happen in a pro scene.
But Hacker would invade it and die.
But the thing about it is they're mechanically gifted, and I feel like with 3 strong veterans around them, they're going to be completely fine. I didn't before I heard about the SMLZ rumor, I thought this was going to be a mid-tier team still.
People forget they made playoffs.
They did make playoffs, but with the addition of SMLZ, I do think that this is still not the most hyped roster that's came out, in my opinion.
But it's gonna be harder for these teams too, because China is adding 2 more teams to their big roster of groups. 2 more teams. That means
they're just putting 1 extra team in each group.
Also, people gotta factor in China, it's not like NA or EU and Korea, you know how they have the one arena. They have specific. It's like playing basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
Teams go out to see each other, and it's away and home games. It's actually that's actually pretty cool in my own personal opinion. You can't do that here because
they actually have more than 15 viewers though in NA. I mean in China.
Oh my god!
The Chinese scene is so ridiculously big.
They said even though LGD sucks, LGD has a huge fan base.
They do. They had the thing about it. I guess that's why people keep importing Imp. Imp was he is a gigantic name in China. Everybody loves him there. So
but yeah, it'd be a little bit harder in North America, getting some a little bit of that North American pie over here to forgive us home and away games. I think eventually I don't know if it'll actually be that way, because you factor in you can already do everything you want at the LCS. Why would you have people travel from? I don't think it's worth it. It's not worth it in any other region except for China.
China has the viewer base to do it.
Yeah.
But let's think about it
Suning Gaming. Ooh, it's like Maple and Sword Art. They were guaranteed to go to Worlds every year. They're on Flash Wolves. So now you factor in they go to China. Karsa was able to be very successful in RNG. They won back-to-back splits with RNG, and they're like, well, our friend went over to China, was successful. He wasn't guaranteed Worlds. He made it happen, and they don't want to be guaranteed Worlds anymore because the region is just not up to par with what they're bringing, and they can bring it to a better region and improve themselves.
And honestly, an older piece of news that we actually never touched over because of China. I mean, China just wasn't something we were talking about. We just kind of skimmed over it, but the top roster. What was Top Gaming? They brought in...
Oh, Top Gaming. We're probably going to have to look that up. I forgot.
No, it's Ben. They have Ben. They have Knight. They have...
Loken.
Do they? Yeah, they have Loken. Mm-hmm. Loken's the ADC. So the Ben, Knight, Loken, the other 2. Let me see the other 2. I thought I had it. I had it on my thing and then it just kind of disappeared. But for the most part, they have Ben, Top, Loken, 369, and XX. So this team. This is 100% going to be a top tier team. I 100%. If you can't
these Chinese top tier teams play out very differently, because a lot of the Chinese players that are really good have very different mindsets on how to play the game.
My opinion on this is Loken Ben is an insane that is an insanely strong lane. Ben was one of the better. Ben has been kind of plagued with bad ADCs recently.
Ben's been pretty good actually.
Ben has been he has been a great ADC. I mean support for the most part of his career. But I think that with the addition of Loken, who I was really hoping that KT would actually pick up, didn't end up happening, but I was really hoping Loken would go to KT, but since he didn't, he makes an extremely good addition to this team. Knight is the single, I feel like if we're going to talk about hyped up talents that are coming up from China, one of the younger ones, I would have to say Knight is probably probably one of the highest skill, highest potentials in terms of mid laners in China, because he's coming up. He was on a Suning Gaming. Yeah, he's actually who was Maple actually replaced, and I feel like that was they really should have tried to keep Knight. I feel like he's the better player. I feel
at least keep some veterans on your team.
Yeah, but Knight is young, I guess. Maple is more experienced, but I feel like Knight, as of right now, I feel like he was slightly better than what's it called? He was slightly better than Maple, on top of the fact that he is honestly he's at the start of his career. I feel like this is a gigantic. He's gonna take a leap next year. And then 369, remember 369? And
Disney 365.
No, 369 actually was one of the he was probably the strongest top laner in the inside of the Nest, which was the a tournament they had like a few weeks ago.
It's kind of like their Kespa Cup.
I don't know if it's like every single little off season tournament they have is gigantic, so essentially they take them all seriously. So 369 came out as like one of the stronger teams in the Nest tournament, and kind of honestly he proved himself to me. Like I feel like this 369 looks like he has a lot of potential, along with Knight, who has potential.
So overall, you're looking at a team that
I think they're going to be a top tier team. I feel like this team, like you have 3 strong teams in EDG, what's it called? EDG, RNG, and IG, and then you have 2 teams on the up and coming, which is Top Gaming and Suning.
Maybe you have a new Chinese king. It's looking very unlikely that you have a new Chinese king.
I think
that Invictus Gaming is just going to win the split.
Invictus Gaming and RNG, Invictus Gaming is always going to look the strongest to me, honestly. I feel like RNG is dependent on, it's going to be dependent on what the meta is, to be honest.
Also, they haven't confirmed all their players either. You have Ming, Uzi, and Karsa.
Those are 3 good players. I think those are 3 good players to keep. Xiao, I'd like them to keep Xiao, who I still think is an integral part of that team, and Let Me is still pretty decent. I feel like
rumor for Xiao going to Flash Wolves, that might actually still be coming to pass.
That would be terrible for him. That would be terrible for him. Why would he want to demote his...
Hey, he gets to win a free split every year.
Okay.
And he gets to go to Worlds.
I guess. I feel like that'd be terrible for his career, but it would be kind of cool. He gets to go to Worlds on RNG, too. And he gets to be on a better team.
That works out a lot, too. And you get to play with Karsa.
He is Karsa. Wait, no, he's not Karsa. We're talking about Jiahu. I'm stupid.
So, that's actually... It's... See, this is the issue. With the LMS, per se, it's probably... What... After HQ and Flash Wolves, it's just been like you have the clear one good team, and then their second place team is not even close to as good as their first place team, and then you have the third place team that's not even close to as good as the second place team. It's like what in the world? I'm glad Maple and Sword Art left. They talked about leaving in 2017. I don't know why they just didn't do it then. But if we're going by Chinese power rankings, if I'm just going with regular split, IG. Do you think IG is going to do 18-1 again this year?
I really don't.
They might lose a couple more games, but I'm still predicting maybe 15-3.
I think if we're going to go based off of their roster, they kept the same roster. Let's just imagine that.
They have a lot of synergy. They just won a world championship. They're on the highest high a team could be on. I think they're going to ride this wave for a while.
I would like to imagine that they do. I want everybody to play at the peak that they did last season. I really like the top lane duo synergy, like the top lane with they have two of the better top laners in China, and Duke and the Shy. So I feel like this team, in my opinion, if one of them underperforms, you still have a good top laner to go along with it. So in my opinion, I can't see them losing the first seed. RNG is
Uzi kind of does take breaks in.
He does. I want to see this. I want to see.
But Abel's actually a pretty decent ADC himself too.
The thing about China is every single ADC in existence there is good. Even the lower tier teams have good ADCs. It's never bad. Even Snake Gaming is light, who's not terrible. So I don't see this. If you're talking about ADCs, and you're in China, it's completely fine. There's no reason to look for an ADC. You're fine whatsoever. You need to fill in the rest of the gaps in the late team, though. There's a lot of teams that don't have good mid laners in China.
What if Mouse comes to RNG?
That would be terrible. That'd be horrible. Mouse looked a lot better. I want to take it back a little bit. Mouse did look a lot better this season.
Yeah, without EDG fans breathing down his neck.
Yeah, I feel like he performed a lot better, and I feel like the stress wasn't existent for him this year. So I feel...
Who was their jungler for Rogue? He was actually pretty good.
Rogue's jungler.
It was B4 Lan or something like that.
B4 Lan?
Yeah, it was before Lan or something like that.
Balan?
But no,
Balan is the support for...
No. Rogue Warriors.
I forgot his name, man.
That's a good jungler right there. Yeah, Rogue Warriors had a great jungler. They had an all around great team. I think that their jungler was it Kiwi? It wasn't Kiwi, right?
What are you talking about, man?
Their jungler.
They had Flawless, like...
It was Flawless, yeah. Flawless was absolutely amazing.
I don't know about that. I don't think I think their strongest players have always been SMLZ. You're talking about... If we're talking about... They mostly...
Like Kilua was a fine support.
They focused... They were a centralized team that focused around bot lane. Top lane... Mouse played fine. I feel like this team is just not... It was not bad. Rogue Warriors was not a bad team.
I think they had a surprise factor. They had nothing to play for. No one expected a lot out of them. And then when the pressure got to them, I think it just caved in.
The thing about it is they had one of the better bot lanes in China.
And Flawless leaves right there. So Flawless, I think that Flawless is a fantastic pickup for other new Chinese teams. I think he'll bring like veteran shot calling too. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna find a roster himself.
I don't believe Rogue Warriors is gonna be good next split because they're losing. If it's confirmed that they're losing SMLZ, then this team is just they're gonna be a bottom of the hat team.
Duanoimbi is gonna maybe be a Twitch streamer. I also said he has health issues too, so I don't see them actually being good. It was a surprise that they were this good this year.
The reason they were so good is because Duanoimbi is 100% a great shot caller. Duanoimbi is one of the best shot callers I think in the entire world, but he's just played with his inability to play the game properly. He's not a great player himself.
I don't know about that.
He's a pretty mechanically weak player. It's a thing.
He plays QWER.
Okay, he does. But Duanoimbi is not mechanically gifted, but the thing about it is he excels in knowledge around the map. So it's hard to get rid of him because he knows so much, but at the same time he struggles. He struggles against...
It's like...
In a region that's not...
With the 5-9 situation, why not just replace that with the guy that's really good, and he can probably do that as well in later months or splits?
No one could ever shot call as well as I did, like in C9, so I feel like that's incorrect. You'll never get... It's like, the thing about it is, if you settle on just getting a better player, you need to find somebody who's at least adept at shot calling.
But that's pretty much it, honestly.
I think... Yeah, I mean, all of these rumors that have happened around... I feel like I'm not upset with any of them besides the Dardoch to Optic. That upset me so much.
Make it tilting.
But I think that's pretty much it.
Ocelot said he let them explore free agency a day before.
I don't like Ocelot as a person. I don't like Young Buck either, but I feel like he'd beat me up, so I'm not going to say anything about that.
The G2 Army. #XD.
Alright, so that's going to be it.
See you guys later. Make sure you obliterate that like button.
Don't be a weirdo.
Hit the notification